everyone, welcome back to another in real life Pokefusion video. Today we're working with a viewer suggestion featuring Slowbro and Duskull. Right off the bat, got to admit, I never imagined myself using these two Pokemon together as they're not typically my favorite types of Pokemon. Get it? Type? Insert hysterical laughter right here. Anyway, that's the great thing about viewer suggestions. They allow me to experiment with concepts that I never otherwise would have chosen for myself. Just like my previous Pokefusion videos, it was my job to search up the real-life counterparts to the chosen Pokemon, and what I came across was a shell I am not even going to try to pronounce, and the Pygmy Hippo for Slowbro, an animal I did not even know existed before this. Duskull's part was a little more tricky as, let's face it, there isn't really one real life visual of a ghost with a skull that comes to mind, so instead I decided to use it as the color palette base and highlight the undead attribute with the real life Slowbro elements. That meant that I had to draw a hippo skull, which was a totally new experience for me again, but thanks to the power of reference imagery, it turned out really well. I mean, it looks like a skull, right? The rest of the design was interesting. Working with such a bloated, roly-poly animal like a hippo was something totally new to me again. But the shell part was, funnily enough, the most intimidating aspect. Even with the reference images I had, the shape of it was still so visually complicated in my eyes that I hope to heck it still translates well in the piece. But oh well, it is what it is, and overall the Pokefusion design for this Duskull turned out very nicely. As ever, I try to experiment with the line artless artwork, so after blocking out the needed shapes under the rough sketch, I started layering down different textures with the colors to add a bit more visual interest to help create a very rough and haunting artwork overall. I was playing around with a very dark mood, something to play on the ghostly nature of the Duskull and the fact you're basically looking at an undead hippopotamus at the moment. The color palette of the environment wasn't really working for me after I laid down the basic shading, so my mind kind of brought up the end of The Lion King, where it started to feature a variety of dark burnt reds, and voila, it was looking so much better after creating a verge of sunset kind of background. Gotta love those clouds. I try to involve them in my environmental sky pieces as much as possible. Some turn out better than others, but you know you can only get better with practice. So every now and then, I change up my light and shadow rendering with varying Photoshop brushes from artwork to artwork. For this one, I work with a very scratchy brush that was reminiscent of a paintbrush or wet chalk. It's amazing the amount of detail that can get lost when you look at an artwork in real life print or zoomed out on screen, but I'm the kind of girl that can't help but work at a very zoomed in ratio. It doesn't look like a plain soft brush shade job, so that works for me. Overall, I think we have a very creepy winner of a Pokefusion today. This creature turned out so well, I hope you guys like the final result. If you want a copy of this artwork for yourself, you'll be able to buy the high-resolution final artwork of today's Pokefusion on my store envy. This is also the third and final artwork for my Patreon print rewards for August to be revealed. We've got a very dark and moody theme this month in terms of print rewards. Thanks for watching everyone. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to flick that like button or leave a comment below. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. I upload every fortnight, and feel free to check out some of my other videos in the meantime. See ya!